Hello, beautiful souls. I am Awakened Soul, and today we're going to be looking at Ethereum and we're going to be setting our next 4-hour target. I'm going to start on the monthly chart really quick. I turn on my 12 and 26 EMAs, and just looking at it, I want you to see how the 26 is above the 12 EMA and we're having a rejection from the 12 EMA. It looks like it retested and it's coming back down. For our monthly trend lines, we're going to use red color. We're going to use one touch, two touches. Oops. Right. I hope you're having a beautiful day. One touch, two touch. So right in this wedge we're playing right now. I was going to use red, but green is good too. So let's move on to our weekly time frame. Within the weekly, turn on your pivot highs and lows indicator, and this will guide you on setting your next support and resistance. If you don't see any pivot highs or lows within price action, go ahead and lower this to a smaller number, and I'll just provide more pivot highs and lows, as you can see. So this is going to be my resistance. This is going to be my support within the weekly time frame. Wonderful. Let's move into our daily. Within our daily, we're going to turn on pivot highs and lows again. Just concentrating on time frame here, right? We're going to have our resistance here, and we're going to have our support, and this is going to be our range. Okay, let's go ahead and turn on the higher high, lower low indicator. I do use two. One of them I play around with. It's 3, 6, or 9. And the second one, it's always set to 30. And this is just going to guide me on where to set my next trend lines, right? So I'm going to use this low, come on, to the next higher low. Okay. I'm also gonna, from this low, let's go back here to this previous low, even though it's not marking it. Okay. Let's move on to our 4 hours. So within our 4 hours, before I give you a target, remember it's important to understand the market structure of every chart. Every chart is a cycle that repeats, and right, there's a trend up, a contraction phase, a consolidation, trend down, contraction phase, right, trend up, contraction phase, trend down, contraction phase, right, trend down. So right now we're dealing within a contraction phase. So within this contraction phase, we're going to focus and we're going to try to find a pattern to give us our next target. So and before we do that, it's important also to look at if you're in a bearish or bullish trend, right? By looking at your daily, you could see price action above the 12 and the 26 EMA. That's a bullish trend. Price action is below your 26 EMA now. That's a bearish trend now. If you look at your 4 hours, same thing. I trade with the trend, so if the price action is above the 12 and the 26, I only consider longs. If the price action is below the 12.26, I only consider shorts. Okay, so keep in mind, with that being said, we're going to be looking for a short. So I just finished doing BTC, and ETH and BTC usually play similar games here. So I did notice a bear flag within BTC, and I just posted that video if you want a bear flag, right? And it just broke to the downside. We're finding big support here, and of course if we break this support, we're coming down. And what would that down be? So another thing to keep in mind is that when you are in a downtrend, you'll find a lot of bear flags, right? This is an example, a little tiny bear flag here, right? Another little bear flag here before it comes down. So you'll find a lot of little bear flags coming down. So just based on this bear flag and having a measure move, this is my 4-hour trend line here. 1 second. Trying to see. I'm trying to see where would I pull my measure move from. So I think from here. This looks about right. Because this was the last little bear flag, right? Then we had a measure move. So this is your measured move pull. So my next target could be all the way to our 4-hour trend line down here. Big drop that's coming, guys. No financial advice, but you know. Of course, this is our major support, so wait for it to break. We do have a consolidation area in this zone too. If you look to the if you zoom out, this consolidation area, right? So we could have similar situation coming in, dropping in, and having like a ripsaw here, a pattern being made within this area. But how do you determine to take your short if you're just coming in and to the charts? Turn on your highs, your higher high, lower low indicator, set a range within the hour. So let's go to the hour. Right here, you're gonna set your support or resistance. Let me change the color to blue, right? And this is gonna be your support. Okay, so for you to consider a short, I want you to wait for confirmation of the trend line to break, confirmation of the higher low to break, retest, and then continue to the downside, right? In this case, we have 4 hours and we have daily trend lines here, and if they all break, we're most definitely, I mean, each trend line for me is a confirmation that we're coming down. So would I wait for the retest? Probably not me. But you should. Just being honest with you guys. And you know, enter as soon as it breaks, and might retest and it might not retest, right? And my targets for my bearish scenarios 1384. But you know, the safest thing is to wait for a retest, right? Breakdown, confirm the breakdown of the higher low, wait for it to retest and enter in your lower high. Where should your stop loss be? At previous lower highs. Okay, and let's say this goes up. Let's say this wasn't a bear flag, this is something else, right? What, same thing. Place our range here, wait for it to break, retest, right? Because that's how the charts are gonna move. So enter at higher lows, set your stop loss at previous higher lows, right? So wait for the confirmation to break and then enter, wait for the retest to come down. I do not trade against the trend, so even if this were to break up, I'm gonna wait for it to do whatever it needs to do, because I just don't trust the charts, and then short again, right? The higher it goes, the better entry I will have for my short. So that's my next target, everyone, and may the force be with you. And I hope you learned something new, and remember to do everything with love.